do you think you're adults? You should look like a 12-year-old Holly.
I do, yes.
Okay. During this presentation, if we could put all electronic devices down, I would appreciate it. I appreciate you coming to this. We are going to cover communication and organizations for my Understand Communication class. Okay. All right. So the essentials of organizational communication. We're going to cover four things, kind of. The first is just the structure of an organization. Then the next would be the rights. There's certain rights and rituals that encompass an organization. And then nonverbal communication within an organization. And then why good, not just communication, but good communication is essential for organization to succeed, okay? So organizational structures. So every place has a, go through all these. Every work has a chain of command. I don't know if they call that in the civilian world, what do they call that, Mr. Jensen? Where you're your boss, or is it organizational structure?
Organizational structure.
You call it a chain of command?
Chain of command.
In the civilian world, do you, or no?
Yes.
So in my world, it's a chain of command.
Chain of command.
So it's a specific structure, so if you have an issue with one of your, with a policy, they don't want you going straight to the owner of the company, they want you to go through that chain of command. Likewise, when something comes down, that boss has to be able to rely on everybody to do it. Go ahead. Again. Formal communication networks. All right, so that's your formal communication network. There's two kinds of communication networks in an organization. So you have your CEO all the way down to your stockroom boy, right? Next is going to be your informal. So that's going to be who you choose to associate with while at work. So who you choose to like Mr. Bean, who you choose to associate is kind of keeps you sane. Do you guys have people like that at your work? Tim, do you have anyone that you enjoy, or do you travel all the time so you really don't have that?
I
I
hate
do.
my
I have
coworker.
a manager, and a regional manager, and then a vice president I talk to.
Do you have anyone within that you wouldn't have to talk to if you don't want to, but it kind of keeps you sane during the tough times?
There's a high turnover, so I just sit it out and know that they'll be gone in a year or so.
All right, good enough. So, John, do you?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I have. There's someone at work that
You can vent to?
I can vent to, and they can in turn vent to me.
All right, do you ever trade sandwiches that your wives make you, or?
No.
No?
All right. No, nothing
All right.
there. Nothing there.
All right. And then, well, Sister Smith, Miss Smith, you did work earlier, but you gave up.
She's got a partner she really doesn't get along with.
Well, is there a structure in your guys' organization?
Not really.
No, is it just?
Chaos.
There should be
Oh,
a structure.
okay.
There will
All right,
be.
next slide. Okay.
But I like
How,
my partner.
how it's defined? So we'll just skim over this. So the organization is defined by any values, behaviors, practice, forms. So we're going to skim over this because we're going to go over everything in this here in a second. So next. Whoa,
You gotta
we
read the cartoon.
got to read Dilbert,
Sorry.
right? You guys ever read Dilbert?
Yeah.
So go ahead and read that. All right, good enough.
Okay.
Okay.
Speed reader.
Rights and rituals within an organization. So rights are a dramatic, planned set of events that brings together aspects. So it's usually just a single event. We'll go over that in just a minute. That happens in your career. And rituals are something that is kind of ongoing that sets precedence who you are as an organization. So go ahead. There's three types of rituals, and the first ritual is your task ritual. And this, go ahead and hit all these. Or there's a task. They're forms, you have policies, procedures. In my business, in my work, we have all of our policies on each thing we're supposed to be able to do. I'm sure you get, when you're out selling your products, there's certain things you have to hit when you're talking, or not selling it, but training people on it, right?
Well,
Certain things you have to
even
do.
before then too, within my company, we have a lot of, being it's medical device, there's a lot of regulations with the government that we have to suffice. So there's different documentations, and we have standard operating procedures and
Okay.
all that we have to follow.
Cool. And so those would be called your task rituals, your expectations in the workplace. Your personal rituals. So, when I went down to Richfield, I noticed when I was a lieutenant down there, I noticed everybody's door was always shut. So I kind of, you know, I like to be open, and anyway, I opened my door, and noticed by the time I left, everyone had their door open. Really, my point is just what this is. My door is open. I'm here for you. You can come discuss anything, whether it's you want to talk to me about pretty much anything. And I'm not hiding anything inside my office. So just openness. That's not my set for my personal ritual. And social rituals, something that Tim doesn't do because he hates everyone at his work. Social rituals are they're a place to strengthen relationships between coworkers. Go ahead. Company break room, company workout area, and then interdepartmental chat like with me. So like a company workout area, it's kind of pricey, right? So let's say, and I don't know if you have this or not, John, where you travel a lot, but if you had one of those that would have anything to do with medical devices that you're training people on, a set of dumbbells, like specifically. No?
I don't understand the question.
Okay, so let me rephrase that. That was bad communication. I apologize. If that has nothing to do with your job assignment, what you do, why would a company spend money on that?
Because it helps the personnel, the people there obviously be of kind of well-being, not only physically but mentally.
Yeah.
And that's obviously makes for a happier workplace environment, especially to retain people.
And what is that? That's exactly what I was looking for. But why does that make for a better, foundation to build your company on for financial? Well, I guess
it doesn't help the bottom line as far as actually selling products, but it will help for a better environment and an atmosphere. In order to eventually, obviously, the ultimate goal is to have that retention of employees so they can go out and do what they're hired to do.
And make the company money, right?
Exactly.
So if you got angry employees, Tim, do you think they make as much money for the company?
No.
There you go. That's why I think they do things like this. What you're getting at is if you have angry employees, they're not going to make as much money for the department or for the company. So it's important to have. So there's different rites of passage. I'm going to go over these, not real in super depth, and some of these you have to forgive me that in my world, what I know is law enforcement. So rites of passage, a title change after promotion. When I promoted from sergeant to lieutenant, I got rid of my sergeant stripes, which it kind of shows down here, and got a lieutenant bar on my collar. And when I promoted sergeant initially, I got sergeant stripes, which I didn't wear before. And there are different symbols on uniform, military police, to signify who you are within the company or department. Go ahead. Rites of integration. So this is a promotional ceremony. So a promotional ceremony is I was sworn in as a lieutenant, and it gave me that kind of that rite of integration into being a lieutenant. The promotional ceremonies, go ahead. Christmas parties, you're integrating with your fellow employees, go ahead. Award ceremonies, thank you for what you do, go ahead. Next is going to be the blaming rights, and going to skim through these. Blaming and enhancement rights, just it is what it is. There's not much to go over on that. Just basically your reprimands and your all the way down to firing, then praising people and recognizing people for doing good. Go ahead. Conflict resolution rights, again, to any conflicts through voting procedures, through mediation procedures, and through just working things. Go ahead. Through working things out with the employees, problem resolution, and what the failure to act on this as a boss on conflict resolution causes a bad work environment if they don't act. So specialized teams in an organization. Again, you have to forgive me. This is my what I do is this is my specialized team, the criminal interdiction team for Utah. Go ahead. And this kind of is organizational communication put to practice. So a team is a special group that has specific talents and a direct focus. So I'm going to kind of our canine interdiction team. You got to have these 15 guys have a specific focus and a skill set. They're very good at what they do, and they wouldn't be on the team otherwise. And the wings are a form of non-verbal communication that represent you're a member of that team. So you have those wings, you wear them above your name badge, and they represent within the department. I'm on this criminal interdiction team. Go ahead. And symbols within a team. A symbol is hold on. Do you think a symbol is a form of communication? Holly, what do you think it is?
Yeah, I think, because it lets you know what you are without saying anything.
Okay,
Like you
so
can look at it.
nonverbal.
Yeah.
And can you tell just by someone wearing something who they are?
A lot of times, yeah.
You guys sell a lot of clothes. That's kind of what you're hoping people are. They want to identify as a specific type of person, right?
Yeah.
And so, I would say what you sell in clothing line is in clothes is people are buying those to identify someone. That's a form of nonverbal communication. So, same
And when
thing.
we choose, yeah,
What's that?
no, yeah.
No, please.
No, I was gonna say, when we choose our clothes, it's to a specific group of people.
There you go.
We, you know,
And
don't cater to the,
you're not going to sell me a blouse to wear, or a pair of knickers. All right. Okay. All right. So symbols for the specialized team. So these wings were made by one of my good friends, and he did it specifically. So in the middle is the Lady of Justice, and it's our showing our value of upholding the law, the Constitution, and standing for justice. Go ahead. Next is the triangle, and it symbolizes the three main interstate drug corridors that we work: I-15, I-70, and I-80. Go ahead. The circle symbolizes the tire, representing the emphasis on traffic enforcement on the highways versus any other type of drug enforcement. And the wings, they symbolize the bald eagle, and that shows our commitment towards the national effort against illegal trafficking, whether it be human trafficking, drug trafficking, weapons, terrorism, anything. So each thing on those wings means something. And communication necessities, go ahead. So on the team, and I'm going to skim over this because we're running short on time. Go and just punch through everything on this. Communication is essential on these teams because it's a part-time assignment. So this canine handler has to report to his field sergeant, also to his interdiction sergeant, also to his canine sergeant, who all have to communicate amongst each other. And so you see that the network of communication is huge. Otherwise, the team will fail. And that's why I want to cover that team for communication, because it's so essential. Otherwise, the team will fail, and they'll fail their duties out on the road, which means we'll fail the people of Utah, which would be not acceptable. Go ahead. Okay, go ahead. All right, so each of these are on this, and again, I'm kind of go over a real team of what we described in the past. So task rituals, we have policies, criminal and law, group gatherings like our interdiction projects, our certifications for our dogs, and personal rituals. The supervisors are very involved because they're not over them specifically. They're very involved with helping them perfect their craft with both criminal interdiction and dogs. Go ahead. So it's essential in any organization. So you see another Dilbert one. It's kind of funny. You send an email saying left a voicemail telling you to look at facts. That's what I want to talk to you. Just failure of communication there. And lastly, you go over all this type of stuff that encompasses. I really like this quote that I found. No matter what job you have in life, your success will be determined 5% by your academic credentials. Thank goodness, or else I'd fail. 15% by your professional experiences, and 80% by your communication skills. So, Timmy, in selling your product, if you had terrible communication skills, do you think that you'd succeed?
Well, it's a lot on looks too. So,
Well, you're communicating a professional
yes.
man, right?
Probably
There you go. So,
70%.
all right, okay. Well, you're failing to see your nonverbal communication, sir. Your nonverbal communication saying, look at me, I'm a professional. I will help you succeed if you follow me. There you go. All right. Does anybody have any questions? Thank you.